Chosen one, stop. Do not scroll past this. Your algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. Because he heard what you whispered yesterday. You thought you were alone. You thought the walls absorbed your confession. You thought because your voice cracked and your tears fell silently, that it went unnoticed. But I am here to tell you that what you whispered in your weakness yesterday was louder than any shout of victory you have ever made. It shook the throne room, it silenced the angels, and it caused the Father to stand up. Before we go any further, I need you to make a covenant with yourself right now. Do not click away. By the end of this video, I am going to hand you a specific key that unlocks the frequency of the throne room on demand. A key that turns that breakdown you felt yesterday into your greatest spiritual weapon. If you are ready to understand why your breaking point was actually your breakthrough point, subscribe now to align with the awakened remnant. Like this video if your spirit confirms this truth. Now, let's go back to that moment. Yesterday, maybe you were sitting in your car in the driveway. The engine was off, but you didn't get out. You just sat there, staring at the garage door, gripping the steering wheel until your knuckles turned white. Or maybe it was in the bathroom, with the water running to cover the sound of your breathing. You looked in the mirror, and you didn't recognize the person staring back, and in that heavy silence, you whispered it. You said, "God, I cannot do this anymore." You said, "I am so tired." You said, "Where are you?" You felt guilty immediately, didn't you? You thought that whisper was a sign of failure. You thought it was proof that your faith is cracking. But listen to me closely. That was not a lack of faith. That was the sound of your spirit hitting the wall of your own human strength. Right now, without moving a muscle, I want you to bring your awareness to your jaw. Is it tight? Are your teeth clenched? Notice the tension in your shoulders, how they are pulled up toward your ears. That tension is the physical manifestation of a spiritual problem. You have been operating in survival mode for so long that your brain has forgotten how to rest. Scientists call this the beta state. It is the frequency of stress, of logic, of constantly scanning for threats. You have been trying to fight a spiritual battle with a tired biological brain stuck in fight or flight. That is why you are exhausted. That is why you whispered. Your spirit is trying to break free from the noise of your own survival instincts. And this brings us to the lie you have been believing. You think God is waiting for you to get stronger. You think He is waiting for you to stop crying, to stand up, and to declare victory before He will move. You think the test is about how much weight you can carry. That is the false summit. That is religion, not relationship. The truth is, God is not intimidated by your weakness. He is attracted to it. Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. We quote it all the time, but we miss the depth of it. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. We hear that word weakness and we think of defeat. But the Greek word here for the power resting upon you is episkeno. It literally means to pitch a tent over or to dwell within. It is the same word used for the tabernacle in the wilderness. Do you understand what this means? When you are strong, when you are striving, when you are figuring it all out, you are operating in your own power. But when you are weak, when you finally whisper, "I cannot do this," you create the necessary conditions for God to pitch His tent over you. Your weakness becomes the construction site for His glory. He does not just help you, He covers you. This is a spiritual law as real as gravity. It is the law of the spiritual vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you create an empty space, something must rush in to fill it. As long as you are full of your own plans, your own noise, and your own beta state striving, there is no room for the miraculous. Remember Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 19. He was running for his life. He was suicidal. He was terrified. He stood on the mountain waiting for God. A great wind tore the mountains apart, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper, a still small voice. God was not in the noise, he was in the silence. When Elijah stopped running, when the noise stopped, that is when the direction came. Your whisper yesterday created a vacuum. You stopped striving long enough to tell the truth. And because you emptied yourself of your pride and your pretense, God is compelled by his own nature to rush in and fill that space. But here is the problem we all face. You cannot live in a cave like Elijah. You have bills to pay. You have a family to protect. You have a job that demands your attention. You have a phone that notifies you every 5 minutes. The moment you step out of that car or walk out of that bathroom, the world rushes back in. Your brain snaps right back into that high-stress beta frequency. The connection cuts out, the peace evaporates, and you are back to fighting in your own strength. So the question isn't, does God hear me? We know he does. The real question, the one that determines whether you win or lose in this next season, is this: how do I tune my brain to that whisper frequency instantly, without spending 20 years in a monastery? How do I access that throne room state on demand, even in the middle of chaos? Because if you can control the frequency, you can control the outcome. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. You see, the ancient mystics spent decades in caves trying to silence the noise of the world to reach that theta state, that frequency where the human spirit communes directly with the divine. But God knew you would be born in this generation. He knew you would not have 20 years to sit in silence. He knew you would be fighting on the front lines of a noisy, chaotic world. And I believe he has preserved a specific tool for this exact time. What I am about to share with you is not magic. It is biology confirming theology. NASA research has confirmed that the theta brainwave is the state of genius, of deep intuition, and of spiritual connection. It is the state where your brain rebuilds itself. But in our modern world, that frequency has been suppressed. We are stuck in beta, the frequency of stress. But there is a way to turn the switch back on. It is called the genius wave. Think of it as a digital tuning fork for your brain. It uses advanced sound technology to gently guide your brain out of the fight or flight mode and back into that theta state, that throne room frequency. It does not require hours of meditation. It takes just 7 minutes a day. You simply listen and let the sound do the heavy lifting. It is the modern key to the ancient secret place. I am not telling you this to sell you something. I am telling you this because I want you armed. I want you to have every weapon available to win this war. If your spirit feels led to investigate this tool, if you feel that pull to reclaim your God-given mental authority, I have placed the information in the pinned comment below. Go there, investigate it, and see if it resonates with your spirit. But now, we must address the shadow that is rising up in you, even as I speak. I can hear the objection in your mind. It whispers, if I let go, if I stop worrying, if I relax into this frequency, won't everything fall apart? That is the fear of surrender. That is your inner manager terrified of losing control. You have been holding everything together by the sheer force of your anxiety for so long that you think your worry is the glue keeping your life intact. But let me reframe this for you. Worry is not control. Worry is worshipping the problem. Worry is meditating on the lies of the enemy. When you worry, you are essentially praying for the very things you do not want to happen. Surrender is not passive. Surrender is the most active, aggressive spiritual move you can make. When you shift into that theta state, when you choose silence over striving, you are not giving up. You are handing the battle plan to the general who has never lost a war. You are trading your limited human logic for divine strategy. But be warned, the moment you decide to access this frequency, the moment you decide to go silent, the enemy will launch a counterattack. He does not mind if you go to church. He does not mind if you read a devotional. But he is terrified of you getting quiet, because he knows that is where you get your marching orders. You need to be ready for the 3 noise traps. The first trap is the internal scream. As soon as you put on those headphones or close your door, your mind will remind you of every failure, every unpaid bill, and every embarrassing moment from 10 years ago. It is a guilt bomb designed to make you flee back to the noise. The second trap is external chaos. The moment you sit down, the phone will ring, the dog will bark, a crisis will happen at work. This is not a coincidence, it is a coordinated distraction. The third trap is false urgency. You will feel a sudden panic that you must check your email right now, that you are missing out on something vital. When these traps spring, do not fight them, do not argue with them. Simply remember Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Your only job is the stillness. The fighting belongs to Him. I want to tell you about someone who applied this. Let's call her Sarah. 6 months ago, she was exactly where you are. She was a mother, working 2 jobs, drowning in debt, and spiritually dry. She was trying to pray, but she was too exhausted to focus. She felt like God had forgotten her. She decided to stop striving. She started using the sound technology I mentioned, just 7 minutes every morning. She didn't ask for money. She didn't beg for relief. She just tuned in. For the first week, nothing happened, but she kept showing up. Then, in the silence of that theta state, she got an idea. It wasn't a booming voice, it was a whisper. It was a simple adjustment to her small business that she had never seen before because she was too stressed to look. She implemented that whisper. Within 3 months, that single idea generated more revenue than her 2 jobs combined. She didn't work harder. She aligned. She accessed the strategy of heaven because she finally tuned out the noise of earth. You are next. So right now, we are going to seal this. We are going to activate this frequency over your life. I want you to visualize yourself standing up in the spirit. Even if you are lying in bed, even if you are driving, see your spirit man standing tall, shoulders back, head high. You are entering the throne room. Father, we acknowledge that you heard the whisper yesterday. We acknowledge that our weakness was the invitation for your power. Right now, I seal the frequency of the secret place over this chosen one. I bind the spirit of heaviness that has been trying to keep their brain locked in stress. I break the addiction to noise. I break the covenant with worry. I declare that in the next 40 days, as they practice the discipline of silence, whether through prayer or through the tools you have provided, the answers will come. The strategy will be downloaded. The peace that passes understanding will guard their mind. I commission you now, chosen one. I am asking you a question, and I need you to answer it in your spirit. Will you trust the silence? Will you dare to believe that God is working when you are resting? If your answer is yes, type "I trust the silence" in the comments right now as a prophetic act. Heaven has recorded your answer. The angels have witnessed your commitment. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. The frequency has shifted. The throne room is open. Go, you are heard.